morning, everyone. Hope everybody had a wonderful day yesterday, and I hope everybody's having a wonderful day today. So, yesterday, I made a mistake. Not a huge mistake. Actually, technically, by measurement, it was a small mistake. So, I was sitting here looking at this and realizing that what I would wind up drilling out with this setup would not be as big as I am looking for. Mathematically speaking, it would actually be a bit smaller than what I was looking for, because it would only be but so big. What I need is something significantly larger in size. More specifically, I also need to reorient everything. And so today we are going to be unfucking up my fuck up. However, health-wise, I am feeling a bit better. Got plenty of sleep yesterday. And last night, I think I wound up sweating out whatever it was that was giving me issues. As I do feel tremendously better this morning. No, damn it. Oh well. I've got to fix all this anyway. So, what I need to do is remeasure out the depth of this cave. I need to change. Is there anything in there? Nope. Okay. Anything in you? No, good. That goes away too. Okay. I need to change how large it's going to wind up being. And I'm also going to change the orientation of the drills themselves. So instead of being suspended from the bottom, or I should say, instead of being held in place on the top of a rotor, I'm actually going to suspend it from a ceiling. The reason why is because that'll make it easier to drill everything out, as well as maintain the piping necessary to pipe all of the stone out. That was the other thing I was thinking about, was what am I going to do with the tremendous amount of stone that I'm going to wind up getting out of all of this. Now, previously, when I did a massive drilling project, I did my best to try and refine as much of it as possible. And I wound up with so much iron, nickel, and silicon that I didn't have to worry about anything ever again. Ever again. Now that was for the 2-kilometer tunnel that I did. Hey, what's up, Matt? But that 2-kilometer tunnel basically set me up for life. I don't necessarily want to do that again. So, first, let's do this. What do I mean you're unable to place? What is in the way? Ah, I was. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. That should be good. This will be the center point of the room. Now let's bring this up. I'm going to wind up getting rid of this anyway, but I need this specifically so that I can put it into the ceiling and know where it's going to be. Get all of this in place, and there we go. Now, the next thing that I'm going to wind up having to do is I need that there. Excellent. I need... We'll get rid of all this. I love, absolutely love the paint gun. It makes life so much easier. There we go. So that down there is where we're going to attach our rotor. It'll be an advanced rotor. So that way we can pipe everything out of the drills. Awesome. The next step is I need you bastards. I think I did do this on the wrong side. Maybe. We'll find out in a second. I might luck out. And okay. Yeah, we're good. Because this will just connect into that. Whoops. Was a little misaligned, but that's okay. There we go. Plus, it gives it a little extra texture. Who cares? All right. So that's going to go ahead and give us a much larger area for the purposes of drilling this out. However, I need this to be just a little bit deeper. So that way I will be able to get both sides of the drill in place. There we go. Make sure we're mostly lined up here. Yep, we're pretty good. If there's anything else I need to drill out, I can just bring this back down and clean it up. And then what I should also do, double check the length of this. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yep. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Damn it. Don't need that much. There we go. Back to work. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. Whoops. I might want to double check my count. I don't know if that actually was correct. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, it was. Cool. Down. I need to drill down. I need to be lower. There we go. And that's 13, 14. And then the last one will be our 15. Diggy hole, absolute, always. That's just the way that I play. I can't help it. I love it. I will never apologize for my love of digging holes. Just ask my mom. I'm always digging holes where she's concerned. Usually in the talking shit category. Whoops. Let's try not to blow that up already. All right. Get this drilled out as well. And we should be good to go. Oh, that's what's messing me up. There. Okay. Now, because of the fact that I am extending the size of this, the chamber that it winds up drilling out should be significantly larger, which is what I was after. The big issue that I was going to run into was that the chamber was going to be just a little bit too small for what I was actually attempting to do. So this will be nice. Oh, we're at the bottom already. Cool. Gonna clean this up a little bit. There we go. Oops. And then awesome. All right, there we go. So this should accommodate our drills. May have to dig a little bit into the sides here, so that way I can get the drills actually in here. However, that's fine. There's also a couple of ways that I can set this up. The way that I can do it, and there's two different ways that I can do this, is that I can initially set it up so that I do pistons coming out either side, and they just expand as it goes around, with lines of drills going to the floor. Now that's probably partially going to be the direction I take this in terms of vertical lines of drills. However, what I am going to do in terms of their placement horizontally is going to be slightly different. What I am most likely going to do is set it so that they're actually offset from the center on pistons that will unfold past one another. So that way they have a little bit more extension, and then on top of that I can get a little bit more area drilled with them. It tends to work out fairly well. So, setting this up, the first thing that I need is I need the T-junction. For the sake of being able to see this a little bit better, that is not where I wanted you at all. All right. Hmm. No. You need to go that way. Nope, I had it right. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so I'm a little out of practice. Okay. One, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Long distance delusion. Uh-huh. Well, here's a band, my fellow advertiser. What are you waiting on? Probably interior plates. I think that's what I'm low on right now. Components. Nope, I have those. Oh, I need more construction components. Do more of that. Yeah, there it goes. That's all it needed. The components, absolutely. There we go. All right. Now I can go ahead and we put in bend there, bend there. we do the same thing over here and over there. Then this gets the pistons. Actually, we'll use the round ones. And yeah, that's as far as I need it to go. There we go. So next, I need... Ooh. Ooh. Okay. This is going to be interesting because I just realized, no, that's not going to work. Oh, man. God, it's been a while since I've done one of these drilling machines. Okay. So I've got to drill it out horizontally and I've got to drill it down vertically. Horizontally won't be a problem. Technically, vertically won't be a problem either. But it's doing both at the same time where it gets a little tricky. What I should go ahead and do is what if we do this? Kind of clean this out a little bit so that I can get the drill in here. Probably have to do, yep, a little bit more. I don't know if I have any on me. I'd have to double check. All right, let's turn you on. There we go. Oh, shoot. I just realized I've got that turned on right now. My stone ejector on my ship was running, so it was going to be spitting out stone. Which, that's, oh. That's going to be its own kind of interesting. So, okay, here's where I have a dilemma. I have camp running so that I can weld everything up. There's potential that this drill, through all the shaking and vibrating, is going to damage itself. So having camp turned on is actually going to help prevent it from exploding, as it will attempt to weld everything up if there is any damage. The byproduct of that is the fact that camp is also going to be attempting to pick up anything that I spit out. So if I have a whole bunch of stone getting ejected because I'm not trying to fill up my base's inventory, then I'm going to run into that situation where camp will just pick up everything that I eject out. Oh, that's going to be fun. So much fun. We will make the best of it. I need to also do the same thing over here. To balance this out. Because again, even with all of that happening, there may be the potential that this tries to destroy itself. And so by keeping camp turned on, it will potentially weld up any disaster that may be looming. Okay, there we go. Control panel. And especially when you have all of these. There we go. All these various physics blocks that are attached to one another. Let's do share inertia tensor. That should help. Actually, no, not that one. That one and this one. Okay. You will be piston 1. Do you have? Yes, you do. I need your velocity to be negative 0.025. 0.025. There we go. Then we come over here. Excellent. Technically, maybe, but it depends on how quickly camp winds up grabbing the stone and how quickly I can grind it down, basically. But first, I just need to make sure that we're going to be able to get this drill working. After that, I'll start looking at how we dispose of stone. And let's just come down this way like so. clear out some of this. And in that way, I can get the rest of the drills in here, no problem. Yep, perfect. Pretty much. Hey, what's up, Turnip? Yeah, Space Engineers. I might even do a little bit of Space Engineers 2 later. Yeah, man, poor Dune. I say poor Dune. But people playing on public servers, poor bastards, have been having to deal with some major fuck-ups. And there we go. That's why I'm glad we switched over to a private server, honestly. All right. There we go. That should make things a little bit easier. To get the rest of the drills in. Oh yeah. I need more steel plate. Because I've got 34. Also, how much iron do I have? At the moment, 23,000. That is a fair amount. But not enough. It's never enough. I need more. More, damn you. So let's go get some more. Shall we? Actually, no, it really hasn't been all that fun. I was off Friday because of July 4th. I had a short one on Thursday. Really not much happened. Monday was an incredibly short video because I was feeling like shit. In fact, it was like 45 minutes and nothing of import really happened. And then yesterday was like an hour and a half of Space Engineers, where we got to that point, basically. And then did some Dune Awakening. So honestly, you're not missing a whole lot. Because again, I've been kind of down and out for the past week or so. So you're not missing anything. But I appreciate the enthusiasm. No, it wasn't the flu. It was actually a combination of things. I had a really bad toothache. I had a massive headache off and on for most of the weekend. In fact, it feels like I have one coming up again, only because with the weather changing, my sinuses start fucking with me, and I get a really bad headache from it. And then it was also the inability to sleep because of those two things off and on. And so it was just one of those things. So, oh yeah, turn that on. Sometimes life just decides that it's gonna be a Monday all week. But fortunately, I'm starting to feel better. I had a pretty good night of sleep. Actually, I had a pretty good day of sleep yesterday. Off and on, which was nice. And then it really sucked. So not last night, but night before last, was laying in bed, dead asleep. All of a sudden, my body went, "You are now going to wake up, and you are going to wake up with the most unfathomably obnoxious manner possible in having all of your stomach acid now filling up your esophagus and attempting to go into your lungs. Good luck. So I woke up in a coughing fit to that burning sensation. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, God, that is a terrible feeling. It's like, why are you like this, body? Why? All right. Fortunately, though, like I said, I am starting to feel a little bit better. Yeah. Yep. I've had a couple of those. Those are also really weird. Let's drop this off. There we go. Now, sometime in the next, well, hopefully sometime in the next week or two, my sister decides to go by the head shop that she had been to a couple months ago. And they have these, they basically sell you a vial with like 2 joints in it that have hemp-based products inside of it. It's basically rolled hemp. And it's like $15 for 2 of them, which is actually pretty good. That's a decent price for somebody else doing the rolling. She had a half of one that was still left. That's how I got this vial here. And I smoked that over the weekend. Actually, I smoked it Thursday into Friday. And it was nice. It was a really nice high. No. But it was really nice, and she's been wanting to go back there and get a couple more. She wants to try the ones that are specifically meant to help with creativity. And I'm like, hell yeah, shit, I'd smoke that before a stream for Space Engineers. That'd be hella awesome. All of a sudden, I'm more creative, and I'm baked. Best day ever. Okay. So now that we are hopefully... Oh, you son of a bitch. Why are you not happy with this? It really does. Oh, because my dumbass doesn't have any steel plates. I'm like, why can't I put that there? And then you realize, because you're an idiot. Sitting here thinking, which is always a wee bit on the dangerous side. What if I gave you the inertia tensor? And then, what are you waiting on? Probably more steel plate. Well, let's just try and build everything. And more of you. More of you. Oh, for the deflector shield. Okay. I was like, what the hell's an encabulator? Okay. There we go. Now we're starting to get some of this done. Okay, so by setting up the drills so that they at least go out beyond this joint, as the entire thing spins, it will be able to drill out its chamber without much issue. These won't collide with the rock and hopefully cause issues where it catastrophically destroys itself, which has been known to happen. Once it gets all of that welded up, I can then go through and get it all set up on a button. Hopefully then get it set up so that I can start the drilling process. And we will see with where we're left. Trying to figure out more specifically how I want to sort of enable all of this in a way that will allow it to work both horizontally and vertically. I could, for giggles, I might need to add, and probably will. All right, so what I'm thinking about is setting this up so that I do the top portion first. Then I use puncture to go ahead and clear out the central column. So that way I can get the drills put in vertically and re-drill it all out again. That's what I'm thinking. And then that way, like, it'll be a 2 or 3 phase project. But at least it'll work. Because the only other option that I really have is to see about doing a massive drill head of some sort. So we'll see how this works. Then we'll see about converting over to a vertical version of it. Because I'm still also going to need to do the top at some point as well. And honestly, for a lot of this, the cleanup work, I can go ahead and use oops and puncture. Yeah. But give me just a second. I will be right back. Ah, yep, you're on to me. I'm actually secretly surveilling you with the powers of flight. Okay, let's see. Let's get back to this. You, done with the drills yet? Let's just go ahead, queue up your parts. Awesome. And then what we do is we take this. And let's just label everything the same. There we go. Perfect. There's a lot of vibrating here. Okay, there we go. All right. So what I want to do is let's do a button panel. Interior. Awesome. Base drills. Advanced rotor 2. Let's set your speed for turn on rotor lock. Velocity will set at 0.05, and we'll start you off. We'll start you off kind of slow, and we'll go from there. So I want you to be groups, base drills. And then I want advanced rotor and rotor lock on off. Okay. Nope, wrong way. Advanced rotor and reverse. There we go. And that should hopefully be everything that I need. Now, of course, it's going to be kind of on the slow side, but that's fine. Slow and steady. That's the important measure here. Now, theoretically, I imagine what I could do is set this up so that on an event controller, every time it hits 360 or 0, it essentially triggers the piston to extend out another amount until it hits its maximum. So that way it's always, as soon as it makes a full circle, trying to push out farther to do the next circle. But we'll see how this goes. I am hopeful that it goes well. So far, so good. Awesome. Stone. And we are just going through a ton of stone. So what I'm going to do here is let's get rid of you. And get the parts made. Awesome. Yep. Definitely going to be slow, but it's going to be accurate. And it should hopefully make sure that we get everything done that we need to without blowing it all up. That's kind of the key here, is making sure I don't destroy everything. Awesome. Are we there yet? Now I know you're not outside of the build range. Oh, I wonder. I wonder if it's all the stone in the system now. Oh no. There we go. Okay. We are going to whitelist. We are going to add stone. Drain all. You are going to throw out. Oof. Actually, what I could do, at least for the time being, control panel. Is turn off that. Just watch as all this stone goes rolling down the hill. That actually works incredibly well, too. I love how some of them bounce and some of them don't. It really is. Roll away, little boulders. Roll away. Okay, so let us take piston 1, you are piston 2. You are piston 3. Piston 1. Piston 2. I am technically both. Because right now I'm drinking tea. But I also drink coffee, so... Wait, you're piston 2. You're piston 3. Ow. Okay, piston 1. Velocity negative 0.025. And reverse. And let us see. That should be slow enough. So that as it extends, and I can probably also speed up the rotor just a little bit. Let's go negative 0.1. Hey, what's up, Gintarin? Absolutely. Huge nerd. There we go. That might be a little bit faster than I want. Okay. Negative 0.075. Slow it down just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Much better. pretty soon you're actually going to wind up having to pay for more slots. Bitches love slots. Yes, they do. Yes, they do indeed. There you go. Another water bottle for the sandbox. Because of the fact that there's just too much stone. If this is what, like when I did the 2-kilometer base, 2-kilometer tunnel, that one was a little bit easier because I already had a base to begin with. So I had lots of space and lots of materials to work with to make sure that I could expand everything. But in this particular case, I don't have that luxury, so I want to get rid of the stone. And I don't want to be one of those where I have so much iron and nickel and silicon that I don't ever need to go collect it again. So I'm just ejecting it. Hopefully. I might need to slow down. All right, Draco. Okay. I think piston ones need to be slowed down just a hair. Yeah, we'll slow them down just a little bit. There we go. Plus, it's really satisfying watching all the boulders go roll down the hill. Especially when a bunch of them go bouncing down, too. Poop shoot. I probably could. So the boulders come out of the sphincter. Okay. Whilst we are waiting on all of that, honestly, that's been what's playing in my head the entire time I'm watching that. Okay. So we've got all that working the way that it's supposed to. I should be able to leave it alone for right now while it finishes. I don't know how much more space I'm going to need. Like, I don't know how much more extension I'm going to need on the pistons themselves. I don't think I'll need a full second one. I've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 2.5 is 8, 10. So 10 meters. I think that math is correct. So Probably piston 2s. We'll get a maximum extension of 10 meters. Okay. And are those fully extended? Almost. Oh. Are they fully extended? I do believe they are. I guess we'll wait for it to finish drilling this pass out. And then once it finishes that, we can start the next wave. Let's also take stock of our how much stone do I have? Wow. Okay, so we're still keeping a bunch of stone. It's not getting rid of enough of it fast enough. Okay, good. But that's okay. Let's see. What I should do... what do you have in you still? Oh, stone. Let's go eject some stone here, shall we? Get rid of it. just dropping little rocks everywhere. And there we go. Awesome. All right, let's go grab for giggles. Oh, we got an unknown signal over here. Sure, let's go grab that. And then maybe we'll grab some gold and silver. Oh, absolutely. Like when you have an entire planet of weapons, of ammo, it becomes a little unfair. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. Nothing in there. What about in you? Ooh. Get rid of this. It is definitely interesting how much the game has changed over the years. for better or worse. Mostly for the better. Oh, come on. There we go. Jesus. Man, okay, so here, I know I talk about Dune a lot, but this is a funny one. They fucked up bad. So, they put out a patch. Okay, so the way this works, for those of you who don't know, for Dune Awakening, Monday into Tuesday, they do what's called the Coriolis Storm. And the purpose of the Coriolis Storm is to basically reset and wipe clean the Deep Desert. The Deep Desert is their end game content right now. Half of it, from about the middle of the map south, is meant to be PvE. Half of it, going north, is meant to be PvP, open PvP. Think Grand Theft Auto, where everybody has an Oppressor Mark II. Essentially, throughout the map, there are various pockets that are PvP specific because they are control points that you're supposed to capture and hold for the whole Landsrad thing. Well, this is supposed to happen Monday into Tuesday, with it finalizing overnight. However, what wound up happening was that Monday early morning, they released a patch. That patch went ahead and did the Coriolis Storm reset and changed where a bunch of stuff was positioned. What this wound up doing was putting PvP content right in the middle of where PvE bases were. So all of a sudden, people had their bases completely open to anybody and everybody without warning and without recompense. And of course, you better fucking believe that griefers jumped on that shit. It was a field day for them. They went nuts. And so all of a sudden, you had a bunch of people who were losing vehicles, who were losing materials, who had an entire week or more worth of work and investment wiped out in less than a couple of hours across multiple servers. And rightfully so, people were pissed. And it's interesting that this sort of thing happened and nobody at Funcom thought that it might be an issue until after it happened. And then everybody went, "What the fuck, Funcom? What are you doing?" So they've had to kind of backtrack on a lot of stuff and set up a system whereby individuals who had their stuff destroyed or stolen in this are able to go in and actually reclaim things that were destroyed or stolen. And it's like, yeah, you knew you had to fix that one. That was one of those that you kind of had to just make that one right. But it also goes to show some of the fundamental issues. And it absolutely is an insane oversight. But it also goes to show some of the main primary issues that the PvP has, that Funcom still doesn't want to acknowledge is an issue. And I've watched some videos of people who do the PvP. And honestly, it looks kind of boring. Like, part of the problem with PvP is that when you look at and especially the on-ground, on-foot fights, is that it's absolutely designed, the game itself primarily is designed around PvE. That's how the skills feel. That's really where the majority of the content is. And I think that's one of their biggest problems. And it's also going to be one of their biggest long-term problems. They have a game that was primarily like 95% of the game, 98% of the game is focused on PvE. Then all of a sudden you have this last 2 to 5% that is meant to be PvP. It's meant to be, you know, person versus person. It's supposed to be hardcore. You could potentially lose everything. Whereas before, you didn't have that. And this is like in a movie, when you suddenly have a genre change, people find that really disconnecting and disconcerting. It makes it very difficult to stay engaged in that movie. The same with books. If there's a sudden tonal change, like you've gone through the entire first 36 chapters, let's say, out of a 37 chapter book, and the first 36 chapters are this nail-biting noir detective story, and then all of a sudden the last chapter is a tongue-in-cheek comedic rom-com kind of thing, and you're like, what the fuck? Where the hell did that come from? That's what Dune Awakening feels like. That's why I think they've been getting so much pushback. Okay, you need to be negative 0.02 and reverse. All right, we'll see about getting the rest of this hole drilled out. I think that by and large is one of the problems with a lot of games that try and do this sort of, we're doing PvE, but we're also doing PvP kind of thing. But they do the PvP in such a way as to do it with as little structure as possible. Grand Theft Auto got away with it because it's like that from the beginning. The moment you enter San Andreas / Los Santos, right at the beginning of the game, it does not hold your hand. It does not say that this is, you're going to be safe most of the time. It's basically from level 1 to level whatever, you're going to get your ass handed to you. And so when that happens, it's not out of the blue. It sucks, but it's not out of the blue. It'd be like if Space Engineer, well, never mind, Space Engineers is like that. If you go to any of the public servers, hell, if you go to any server, honestly, let's drill some of this out. But yeah, so that's kind of the way of it. It's frustrating. And so many people talk about this as well. Every video that I come across for Dune Awakening talks about this. That so much of the game in Haga Basin is almost perfect. It's so good. It is so well done. There's so much to do, so much content, so many places to constantly go back to and investigate and farm. And even once you get to the higher tiers like T5 and T6 equipment, there's never a point where you're truly overpowered. Because sometimes it'll throw some shit at you. It's like, hey, come on. Why do I have to take on 3 melee, 2 heavies, and that one guy from Trailer Park Boys? Hey, Mortibus. And my drill isn't actually all that bad, really. It's slow and efficient. Kind of like your mom. By the way, how you doing, buddy? Like, seriously, this is getting the job done just fine. Yeah, that's perfect. So the reason why this works is because of the fact that it's balanced. That's one of the problems that people will run into oftentimes, and why their drills will clang out is because they don't balance it properly. They also will sometimes put too many directions of physics onto their subgrid at the same time. Also a major problem. Or they will put the speed up too high. And so it winds up slamming into the voxels and creating problems. These are all lessons that I have learned the hard way. And this isn't even the worst clang device I have ever come up with. This is just one of many. Now, the fun part is going to be when I bring everything back in and set it up so that I can... Ooh. Let's see. But when I bring everything back in and set it up to drill out the horizontal or the vertical portions of this, that's going to be the fun part. Where does that come out? Okay. Oh, good. We're fine. It still has room to move. Oh yeah, we're good. It's kind of fun to watch. Now, this is the sort of stuff that's going to be interesting for Space Engineers 2, is building these sorts of large drills because of the fact that they have changed their physics engine. I don't know which one that they're using in Space Engineers 1. I think it may be an in-house thing. And I'm pretty sure they've switched over to Havoc for Space Engineers 2. I remember that was one of their early polls, is that they had asked, should we keep the physics the same or should we fix them? And I think it was pretty unanimous that everybody was like, fix the physics. It's fun in Space Engineers 1. We've gotten used to it. But for Space Engineers 2, just fix them. It's okay. We'll overlook the fact that you're changing it. Because I think people really want to have better control over their machines without worrying about their machines exploding for unknown reasons. Now here's something, this is a fun physics lesson to remember about drills, pistons, and rotors. And the reason why you want the slowest speed possible, despite the fact that it feels like it's going to take forever. So when these pistons are all the way contracted and the whole thing is in its folded state and it's spinning, they're using their the in-house V-Rage 3 for their primary engine, but for physics they're using Havoc. And you can do that. You can use V-Rage 3 for most of the stuff, for rendering and all that. But you pass all of your physics calculations over to Havoc, and Havoc then spits out the end result. So that's how that works. Yeah. Oh yeah, lots of Unreal. People who use Unreal don't necessarily use Unreal's in-engine physics. They'll oftentimes use something like Havoc or PhysX or whatever for doing the physics calculations. So that way they don't have to go in and do all of those calculations themselves or set up those formulas. So they'll just use something like Havoc to do that for them. Skyrim and Oblivion use Havoc, if I remember correctly. But anyway, physics lesson. When this thing is completely contracted and everything is pulled in on itself and it is spinning, the end drills are spinning at a slow or moving at a slower speed than when the pistons are expanded. The speed of the external drills increases the longer the pistons get. The speed of rotation, the distance traveled, is much shorter at the center of rotation than it is at the edge of rotation. So if you were to measure the speed that this portion of the piston is going versus the speed at which this is traveling, the amount of distance that it's covering, this is going incredibly fast comparatively. That's the fun part. That's why whenever you're setting up drills like this, you need to be aware of your total speed for the whole thing. Keep it slow, because first of all, the drills have a certain rate at which that they can actually drill through the voxel material. How fast they can drill through stone. So by keeping it slower, you get a much better drill anyway, in terms of it being a cleaner line for the drill. So you'll notice how relatively smooth this is. But then on top of that, you don't run into issues with it constantly slamming against rocks and shit. And it just winds up working better that way. Now here's the moment of truth. Is it going to slam into the armor? Oh, excuse me. I'm thinking we should be okay, but let's help it a little bit. Yeah, we're good. Perfect. Okay. So I could probably get away with another... What is that? 2 blocks, so 2.5. So another 5 meters. So half of that third piston. So we'll set your maximum distance to... We'll do 4.5 just to be on the safe side. Your velocity is negative 0.02. And reverse. And this should be the last lap that we need to do with this to make sure we get the size that I'm looking for. Hopefully. We'll see. Now, in Space Engineers 2, I've actually been working on a ship off and on now for the past few weeks. I haven't gotten too far with it, but I've been playing around with a build style, or I should say, I've been playing around with a method for building that is a little more interesting. And that what I'm initially doing is I'm blocking it out with large blocks and kind of getting an idea of the overall size and shape, kind of figuring out where I want certain parts to be for the armor. And then going back through and doing the detail work. And I'm finding that it's actually an incredibly rewarding way of attempting to construct ships. Why am I not getting attacked? Oh well. But anyway, so back to it. So because of this way of blocking out the ship first and getting an idea of the overall shape of it, it does make it easier to then go in and do the detail work to figure out where I want to put thrusters and gyros and batteries and reactors and stuff like that. And I've really been enjoying it. So I think once we get this next pass done, I'm going to take a short break for like a quick sandwich. And then we'll jump into some Space Engineers 2 and check that out. As I honestly want to start getting more and more into Space Engineers 2 with survival coming up. My guess for when survival will be initially announced, which is the 2.0 vertical slice, I'm thinking end of August is probably when we're going to start getting more information about it. When they're going to mention, we are at a point where 2.0, vertical slice 2.0 is ready, and we are going to do the next month of internal testing like they normally do. And then at that point, they will be releasing it to us, probably mid-September. That's my kind of prediction for where they're at. And then I think most likely shortly thereafter, after they release Vertical Slice 2.0. We'll probably get a month of that. And then they'll go ahead and release the new DLC for Space Engineers 1, which is the upgrade to survival. Because actually, they just released Space Engineers DLC release dates. Not that's. Dates. Okay, so... Okay, so field work was just over a month ago. 31 days ago, actually. Wow, Faulty. I don't think anybody's ever talked to me like that. I feel violated. Thank you. And they definitely help. All right, so... Okay. Select updates. I don't want to know the updates. I want to know the release dates. Okay, so Fieldwork was released in April. So it's been a few months. Contact was released in October. Signal was released in May. And they actually, okay, so they do this sort of like 2 a year. So with Contact in October, so we'll probably see the next, we'll probably see the next DLC somewhere between August and October. That seems to be their release window for the second DLC of the year, which is actually a pretty good time frame. So if it comes out then, yeah, because I don't think they'll want to release 2.0 for Space Engineers 2 the same time they release a DLC for Space Engineers 1. It would make sense that they would want to stagger those out. So if the next DLC comes out in August, we'll probably see 2.0 September or October. If we see 2.0 in August, we'll see field work in September or October, most likely October. That's my prediction. We'll see how accurate it is when it happens. Okay. Let's hope I don't break that. Fully. Oh. That is perfect. Somehow I got that just right. And I think those are... Piston 3s. Yep, you guys are at your max extension. Nice. Alrighty. So I just want to make sure that this gets finished. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. And you can really start to kind of gauge the size of this chamber just off of this alone. start getting an idea of how large this is going to be. And the fact that once I get it drilled out and get the floor put in and everything, I'll be able to build chambers going off the sides and then off the back as well. And the side chambers, what I'm thinking for that is having it so they're extending outwards, and then they can have additional chambers off of those as well for multiple vehicles. And then the central hallway will actually go into the base for the mountain, where I can then drill upwards and then come back out to have the weapons that I want to add. Because what I want to do is put guns up here. It sounds like a good idea, Matt. I totally get it, though. That would also be hilarious. Actually, that would be kind of fun, too. I wonder. So, here's an idea. Set up a rotor with an arm on it, and it spins super fast. Then over top of that, you put a connector and a conveyor sorter. Let me put my hand in the camera. So you put a connector and a conveyor sorter so that it spits stone out, and it does it like one at a time. And as the arm swings, you get it timed just right, so the arm is smacking into the boulders and trying to bat them out as far as possible. It would actually be kind of fun, I think. We might have to do that. And you are just cleaning up the last little bits. Awesome. Beautiful. Man, that's been popping up in my YouTube shorts lately is Bruce Almighty. That's such a good movie. It's so funny. And what's entertaining about it, and this is one of those things that I think is beautiful, is that damn near everybody can totally get behind the idea of Morgan Freeman being God. I don't think anybody went, that's not possible. Everybody's like, no, that tracks. I'm all right with that. I'm totally fine with him being God. This right now, this is just for drilling out this chamber. It's 3 pistons that are going across each other with the drills and an advanced rotor. And that's it. Real basic stuff. Just needing to drill this chamber out. Once I get it finished, then I can come back through and see about adjusting it to do the rest. We'll wait till these get lined back up correctly. And this is just going to drill out the chamber for me so that I can then come in, floor it, and start building stuff off to the sides and straight ahead. That's literally all this does. And there we go. So step 2 is going to be the fun one. I have to figure out a way to get this to lower. On top of that, let's do all of my pistons. Base pistons. You get that. Retract. And that's going to be excruciatingly slow, but it'll get the job done. Now, the reason why I would want to go ahead and keep this all as one is because of the fact that I have all of the pistons set up for their correct speeds and lengths. Now, what I could do is to actually take all of these drills off, put in a bunch of conveyor junctions, and then just rebuild the drills like a layer or two down, and then do it that way. Or actually just 1-2 conveyors down, and then, yeah, that'll be cheaper. Then I don't have to worry about it so much. Okay, yeah, so I just have to get rid of the drills, which, oh no. And then I can drill out the rest of this. Awesome. I know how to do this. It will be fantastic. But this kind of gives you a sense of the scale of the chamber, which is nice. But this chamber will be drilled in such a way as it'll make it easy to get vehicles in and out of here, where I won't have to worry about them not being able to maneuver within this space. The other thing that I want to do is to create a drill guide that I can project, so that way I can turn off camp and then drill the whole thing out and be able to then build within whatever that chasm is, whatever that chamber needs to be. So if I need it for smaller vehicles, I'll have it available, that sort of thing. Yeah, basically. And these just slide back together, nice and neat. But like I said, I'm going to take a quick AFK to grab something to eat. And then I want to jump on some Space Engineers too. No, it's under tools. That's where my credits are. Oh, I do have Clang Cola. And then what I'll probably do is this afternoon or this evening come in here and... Well, no. Let's do it now. Let's get stage 2 done. There we go. And what I need is... Actually, no. I will use you. And just drill this all out real quick. You know, this may be a cheap little ship, but it is very definitely a workhorse. This is the kind of ship that you will wind up using a lot when you're base building. Because of its small size, it can get into places that would be otherwise painful to do. And so, excuse me, having a ship like this is always in your best interest. So if you build a small little drill ship, and really this is just a battery, some thrusters, and a drill, and that's it. That's all it is. Build something like this for yourself, and you will have a tool for life. Don't get rid of it. Don't break it down. Don't try and grab spare parts off of it, because invariably you will wind up using it again and again and again for all sorts of work. And this is, for those of you who don't know, this is loosely based off of the Ugly Duckling from Splitsy's first series, Survival Unlikely? Survival Impossible? One of the two. But it was the first one he did years ago. Like, I gotta look this up. YouTube. Splitsy. Playlists. And where is it? He has done so many of them, and they've all been so good. Where is it? Survival. I think it's Survival Maybe? Yes, Survival Maybe. If you are looking for a good series of Space Engineers videos to get started with, yeah. Yeah, there you go. I'm going to go ahead and link the entire, just from the beginning. But the Ugly Duckling that he created has been instrumental in helping me specifically with a lot of my projects early on. But there are a lot of things in just that video series, just that one video series, that I have learned and sort of taken to heart. So a lot of the ways that I build, I can directly attribute to Splitsy. And a lot of the scripts and the tools and stuff like that are his fault. So anything that you learn from me, you can probably then thank him and his videos, because they were instrumental in my sort of formative Space Engineers years, in getting me started in being able to do a lot more advanced stuff. But with the addition of several of the DLCs that came out, and specifically those that added the flat atmospheric thrusters, that's not going to help. There we go. So the flat atmospheric ones are from... What are you from? You're not going to tell me. But yeah, the flat atmospheric thrusters really do lend themselves well. Yeah, blame Splitsy. 100%. But these flat atmospheric thrusters do lend themselves incredibly well to these sorts of smaller ships. They're low power, low utilization, and perfect for smaller ships like this when you just need a little bit of thrust side to side. You don't need too much, you just need enough, and they're perfect for that. Let's see. I need some interior plate. Let's go ahead and get a little extra made. Oh, absolutely. Kinda, yeah. Well, this is technically my second ship, my second drop ship. The first one got obliterated. But this is the one that we utilize to get back to the base. So there's that. All right, I need you. And you. Yeah. They attacked me before I was prepared for it. And that was when I still had the base all right here, basically. And so everything was out in the open, and when they showed up and started attacking, I didn't stand a chance. So they blew up my survival kit, they blew up the ship, they got rid of everything. So when I made it back, eventually I made it back with this monstrosity. There's a few things that have changed on it since, but for the most part, yeah, this is how it's been kept. And I've actually used it a couple of times for various functions outside of just being a ship. Yes. No, that was Brockstar asked that. Yeah, that part was just like, you son of a bitch. Where were you earlier? Yeah. There we go. I'll allow that one because that one's funny. 2, 3, 4. So I think I was 6 total. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 6 total. Okay, awesome. Four, 5, and 6. Yeah, there we go. It may be slow, but it is efficient, and I will take slow and efficient any day. Okay. What I could also do, and especially now, let's add 1 there. And 1 there. I have used it previously. It is a fantastic mod. I am not, however, digging out a large square. I am digging out a large cylinder. but I have used it before. I've used it for various reasons too. One of the playthroughs, I actually attached it to a ship, and then that way I could go up to asteroids and just drill out the stuff that was inside of the asteroid, which is fun, actually. When you have drill and fill, just drill out the resources themselves and not the stone. It leaves behind these really cool chambers inside of the rock, which is really fun to go back inside of and look, especially if you do it on planets as well. So yes, I've used it before, and it is a fantastic system. You were also correct, it is very slow, but sometimes that's what you need, is something really slow. Okay, let's get our drills back up and running. Base drills. There, yeah, that's so true. Basically one of those that you turn it on, you walk away, when you come back, A, it's not blown up, and B, it got the job done. So there's that. Oh. Okay. That should... Well, funnily enough, one of the nice things about working from home, like I do, is that I don't generally have to worry about that. If I really, really want to, I can just leave it up and running. Although, even if... Okay, so I did a playthrough a while back, long time ago, where I drilled out a 2-kilometer tunnel. And so for that took probably about 2 weeks worth of streaming, maybe a little bit more, of just constant letting it run, streaming other stuff that I was working on, going back and fixing it because it broke itself, and just a lot of back and forth before I finally got all the way through the mountain that I was drilling through. Even if I had been on a private server, that still would have taken a ridiculous amount of time, because there was a lot of time spent going back in and repairing the damage that it was causing to itself. There were a lot of lessons learned in that respect, and a lot of things that needed to be adjusted. Now, fortunately, with the inclusion of event controllers, that radically altered how I was able to construct everything in a way that worked better. Event controllers made it so that I could wait for specific things to happen before triggering the next stage of the entire process. So there was that, which was beautiful. It's just getting all of the timing correct that is a huge pain in the ass. So connecting merge blocks and disconnecting connectors, and then making sure that everything moves the way that it's supposed to, watching pistons and stuff like that, and making sure that you set up your timings and your percentages just right. Roll, my beautiful boulder bastards. What I would love to do at some point in time, should I ever start making that sweet, sweet streamer money that everybody's always got, is I would actually love to get a second computer designed specifically to act as a server. So that way I could run these games, these sessions as a private server that way. I think that would be a lot of fun, and I think it would be really cool to be able to have it running all the time in the background, and then have my main computer also able to do stuff all the time. And then it would allow me to do more interesting playthroughs, I think. All right. That is ungodly slow, but we are starting to see the next. Yeah, so it looks like once this goes through, I might only have to do 2 more rounds of this in terms of breaking it down, dropping it, rebuilding it up, and then spinning it some more. So yeah, that might work out incredibly well. For now, though, we're going to lock this off. I am going to take a short AFK, as I mentioned, so that way I can grab some lunch. We're going to let this work through probably a bunch of stone. Not as much as I thought. Okay. Mostly the magnesium. Fuel up the turnip. There you go. And then when I get back, I had threatened to go play some Space Engineers 2, so we'll probably do some of that. You know what? Let's leave this running. Let's get these started. Okay, that was a bit weird. Save. Okay, I'll be back in a few. Oh, tea break. There we go. Back in a few. Alrighty, we are back. Sorry for the delay. Ooh. Oh, food delivery. What else? Spirit habitat. Spirit has. I don't care about space pirates. I want that danger. Cool. It looks like all that is done. Awesome. Piston 2s. Reverse. There we go. That's never a good sign. Start up piston 2s and let there be light. Oh, God. Oh, man. So, I was talking to my sister a little bit because I had to ask her a question anyway. But she had been playing Death Stranding, the first one. A friend of hers had gotten it for her. And I noticed that she was up late last night. Because I was up late last night. But I wound up poking her about it, and I asked how the delivery business was going. And she's like, I may have finished the game already. And I was like, oh, really? Now, when you say finished, do you mean you got to the credits? And she's like, yeah. And then afterwards, I was like, okay, good. Because there's the end credits for Death Stranding, and then there's the actual end of the game. And I wonder how many people got to the credits and didn't go beyond that to actually finish the game. Which is so very Kojima. It is brilliant. But after that, she did the mission, the very last delivery mission. And just like I did, she wound up crying too. And it's because that last mission is probably one of the most emotional missions. One of the most emotionally attached missions I've ever had to do in a video game. And it is probably one of the best designed last missions in any video game. It's very rare that a game will hit me that emotionally. It's very rare. It's more rare for it to hit my sister that emotionally. So it's one of those, I'm like, yeah, fair. Oh, man. So anyway, this is working just fine. I can leave this. I can come back to this later, which we're going to do. So as I promised, or as I threatened. Oh yeah, no. Defenses are set. Honestly, this out here is just all space pirate stuff. It's not going to attack. But yeah, we should have plenty of ammo. Yeah, all those are ammunitioned up. Check to make sure all the blister turrets have ammo. Yep, they're good. Gatling turrets have ammunition. Oh, we should probably make a little bit more for them. Let's do some more. Well, it's part of the reason why I've been grabbing some extra magnesium is just to make sure that I'm going to have enough for additional ammunition. But let's save this. Now, fortunately, I'm not running it on a server. I'm running it local, so I don't have to worry about getting attacked or anything. But let's give that a second or two. Space Engineers likes to take a little bit to actually like close down. While doing so, Did it? Yeah, we did. Okay, cool. So let's go with construction space engineers 2. Space engineers 2. No, space engineers 2. Thank you. Also, we are not modded. Okay, there we go. Settings. Huh. Oh, wait. Settings. Auto rotation off. Oh. Thank you. I'll deal with the rotation. Let me handle that. There we go. That feels better. All right, so this is the ship I've been working on, little by little. What I plan on doing is once I get this side completed, I will copy it and then put it over here. But for now, I'm in the process of constructing it and just making sure that I have all of the directions set up correctly, that sort of thing. We've got some gyros in here. You got some reactors over here for power, that sort of thing. I wanted to go with the hydrogen thrusters. I know that right now they're functionally identical to the ion thrusters, but I wanted to go with the look that hydrogen gives. So that's where we're at. And then initially I just had the body of this. I didn't have anything else in place. So I started working on the wings. And that's where I'm at right now, is just getting these wings set up, getting the wing set up, and then I will go ahead and start working on the main body itself. But I've been enjoying doing it this way because it gives me a chance to lay in details that I otherwise wouldn't be able to do, such as these channels and inlays. So I've really appreciated being able to do this, which, now that I'm thinking about it, let's get rid of those two. Boom. And then that. Put this in here. Yeah, perfect. Actually, no. I could do that as well. And then do that. Yes. Because that makes a lot more sense. Okay. color those. Color that. Not sure I'll be able to get in there correctly, so we will not do that. But I can do that. Yay! Okay. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. It's gonna be interesting. That could work. But anyway, so and this is one of the beautiful things about the unified grid that I've really enjoyed, is just how easy it is to come in here and do this level of detail work. Whereas before, it felt almost impossible. So they've done, like, it's been a lot of fun. And then I just wish that they would fix the controls a little bit better. And bring you down there. Which 1, 2. Hey, Silent Drifting, I'm doing all right. How about yourself? 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Put that there. I believe that goes there. Yeah. And then it flattens out. Yeah, okay. This, though, where I think... How do I want to do this? Worth it is subjective right now. For somebody who has been a longtime player of Space Engineers 1, I find that it is worth it because I know what it's going to become. And I am well aware of the fact that it's not complete yet. I think that is the biggest point to make. Space Engineers 2 is not complete yet. There's still a lot missing. There's a lot of functionality that doesn't exist. There are a lot of parts that haven't been released yet. However, considering the track record of Keen Software House and what they've done with Space Engineers 1, I know they're good for it. I know at the end of the day, they are going to release a good product. So for me, the answer is a resounding yes. I think for me, it is worth it. Do I think it is worth it for other players? That's kind of for you to decide for yourself. It's not finished. It doesn't have all of the parts and stuff in it yet. It's missing a lot of functionality. Doesn't have survival mode. Doesn't have planets yet. That's all coming up in the next one. The next Vertical Slice. When Vertical Slice 2 drops and they bring out survival and add it to the game, then I will 100% recommend the game. And that's just because at that point it will be Space Engineers, generally speaking, as we know it. Until that point, definitely wait. If you're looking for the full experience, give it some time. Let's see. Let's do that. Fill this in here. And then that. Now I will say, far as I know, yes, there's tons of servers. And there we go. You can hop in and start playing right now, as far as I know. Okay, that. In fact, I ran a server for a month last month, so I know they've got servers. Hey, Spectre. Yes, working on a ship that I've been continuing to work on a ship that I've been playing with now for a little while, trying to get more of it built. And there we go. Now I should be able to do that. Let's see. Absolutely. That's kind of why I've been doing this as well, is so that way I can start getting prepped for Space Engineers 2's survival mode when it comes out. Because I want to be able to get sort of right into it. Now, that being said, when the survival mode comes out, when Vertical Slice 2 comes out, I am absolutely going to be streaming the hell out of that. Like, you can bet your ass you're going to see me on that. I think I kind of like the look of it. Kind of that sort of cut out look to it. I will do that. And I may continue that. I'm not. And the only reason why I'm not sad about that is because I want water to work incredibly well. When they bring out water, I want it to be as close to flawless as possible. Now, obviously, there are going to be issues because of the fact that, you know, it's a system that nobody's really done before. But that being said, oh yeah, absolutely. You're 100% correct on many players going full Space Engineers 2. But I don't think SE1 is going to completely die off, because for some people, the idea of change is going to feel weird. So I think a lot of what we will see are going to be, you're still going to have some people who are doing Space Engineers 1. In fact, it may actually increase in streamer popularity for a while, as a lot of people are like, well, let's revisit Space Engineers 1 before I go jumping into 2. Which, hopefully that'll be pretty awesome. Okay, I need... Not that. Oh, absolutely. There you go. That's kind of technically what I do here, is absolutely seeing that there aren't that many people streaming in a particular area, and so I'm attempting to capitalize on that myself. I would be stupid not to do that. Oh no, you're fine, buddy, you're fine. Your English is still better than most of the people I know, so you're a-okay, buddy. Hell, your English is better than mine, and I speak it as my only language. Okay. Get this in place. There you go. Yeah, God, I love this. I love the amount of detail that you can put into ships now. And... actually, no. Need... This is where things get a little interesting. Is I need you and you there. There we go. Wait a minute, you're off by 1. I think we're just going to have to do it like this. That idea would be kind of cool. Being able to drag out the blocks to the specific size that you're looking for. But I don't think it would fit well with the look and feel that Space Engineers already has. Like, there's a specific way of doing things in Space Engineers that people are used to. And while it does change the formula a certain amount, it's not so much that it feels completely different and foreign, which I appreciate. That's true. There we go. I might leave you like that for now. Kind of get some spiky bits off of this. Surprisingly, they've done a great job of optimizing the engine. I'm basically stuck right now at about 60 FPS. Even moving around. The only time my FPS dips is when I crash something into something else. Then it has to go through and do all the physics stuff. Other than that, though, like I said, they've done a tremendous job at optimizing the engine. I need that one. And then this. There we go. No. Close, though. And then let's see, can I get that as across as possible? Yes. There we go. Haha. Perfect. And actually, what is the PCU on this so far? Let's find out. Build. Actually, I don't know how to tell how much PCU something is so far. So far we're looking at 107,000 out of 400,000, it looks like. Yes, there is. There is a PCU limit. But it is quite generous. And I think that'll change even more when they get to survival. I've installed mods, but I haven't been using them yet. The reason why I haven't been using mods yet is because I want to get used to constructing ships without them before I start constructing mods with mods, or before I start constructing ships with mods. So that's why I haven't been using them yet. Once I get more used to... I see. Once I get used to using or building ships vanilla-wise, then I'll go ahead and start looking at taking advantage of mods and stuff. Okay, now I should be able to do... You? Yes, there we go. There we go. Oh, absolutely. And what I would love to see is to be able to basically build, and in fact, it depends on how well everything works. I could actually see people building their own hangar doors and stuff, and specifically their own airtight hangar doors, because of how small you can get some of the pieces, and especially on large grid ships and whatnot. I would love to see tiny 0.25 by 0.25 by like 1 meter or whatever pistons that you could get some decent extension out of, so that you could, in essence, build pocketed hangar doors. That would be awesome. I would be in absolute heaven with that, if I'm being honest. Whoops. I need... Damn it. There we go. There. There we go. Yeah, that feels good. And then let's put you there. Whoops. Partial copy. And this is where it gets interesting. No. Yes. Okay. And I think that should be kind of what I'm looking for. That might be too much. Oh. Oh yeah, and I need all of that. Okay. There's a way to mirror this, I thought. At least I thought there was a way to mirror this. Why you no mirror? Let's get rid of that. I guess I'll just have to do it this way, which is to build it by hand. Great. This is going to be fantastic. Okay, we'll start off with... And... Is that where you're at? Yes. And then we bring... I need the tiny blocks in here. Why does that feel a little wrong? It feels a little wrong, but it isn't. Or is it? I don't know anymore. There we go. And that should... Oh, bingo. Nailed it first try. Although that still feels a little wrong. Fortunately, boom. Problems. Whoops. Problem not solved. Those are the wrong blocks. That's the correct ones. There we go. Nobody's going to be able to tell the difference. Okay, next up. I need... That is... That there. And I'm pretty sure that one there. I am so totally wrong. Yes, there we go. And then you there. Ah, ha 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 ha. Nope, that one. There we go. That's almost like I actually know what I'm doing. Spoiler alert, I don't. There we go. Oh, yeah. All right, man. Have a good one, Matt. As always, thanks for stopping by, buddy. Always appreciate it. Also, is there not any music? They're just... All right, I guess there's no music. I'm over here like, this is really quiet. It's kind of unsettling. I can actually hear my own thoughts, and I'm not happy with this. All right, we'll run this all the way down here. There we go. Let's bring this down. Ooh, perfect. Same with you. Exquisite. All right. Next up, I want to bring... Yeah, I want to bring this down. Obviously, we'll change it as things go, but This just gets the major components out of the way. And we can run this all the way down here. Start giving us that rounded look that we're going for. It's going to be so much fun when I get to mirror this over to the other side. There we go. Now what I need is... That feels wrong somehow. What's that? No, that is incorrect. How is that incorrect, though? I think... Because I think this is supposed to be... that. Or no. Wait, what? Oh, no. Okay, yeah. Like that. That. There we go. That's the way that it's supposed to be. And then... Yes, okay. There we go. That's what I was looking for. That's what was missing. Because then I do that there. Okay. However, that might actually get changed. And that's going to get changed because of the fact that our orientation on this side, I want it to melt more into the actual wing itself. So this needs to go bye-bye. As does this and this. And I will probably be changing this to be slightly different anyway. Because what I want is for this and... Yeah, nope, had it the right way. To be more like that. This will come down here. Yes. Although I'm not convinced yet that I like that placement. I think that's the direction it'll go in, though. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to delete that. I'm going to... Yep. And then I'm going to put this, whoops, back on. I think that's correct. Almost. That stops right there. Okay. There we go. Then we turn on that. That's not how that works. Oh man. I want to mirror that. And I have no idea how to do that. Okay. I was hoping. Oh. There we go. Okay. Kind of. It's just a general design that I was going with. There we go. Not what I wanted. And it why does it keep doing it backwards? It should be mirroring it side to side. And it shows it correctly when I take this, I turn on mirroring. I think you're right. Okay, let's bring you kind of over here. And then get rid of that. Okay. Oops. Okay, and you delete. Yes. All right. Let's do this. Really? Fine. We'll do it this way. We'll do that. We'll do that. There we go. Now, why are you? Let's see. It's kind of hard to gauge where this is supposed to be when you can't get a good angle on it. Oh, I see where we're supposed to be. Nope. Damn it. Good enough. Actually, damn near perfect. But of course, it didn't get that side. Ah! This is infuriating. I wonder. Okay. Let's do it like this. And again. And you're off by one. God bless it. Oh. Okay, this is going to be infuriating, and I already know it. This is partly my fault. I need to come up with a better way of doing this. That. Okay, what gives? What actually gives? I turn on symmetry. It shows that it's set up as symmetry. It shows that it's mirrored. I go to add it and nothing. That is frustrating, to say the least. It's like, what's the point of symmetry if you're not gonna, you know, like, be symmetrical? Let's go ahead and there. That way I can go ahead and copy this. Symmetry is on. You are showing that you are symmetrical. Fuck you. What the hell is going on here? Symmetry on. Okay, that's got to be a bug. That absolutely has to be a bug. There's no reason why that didn't work. It was showing that it was mirrored. It absolutely Yeah, it should have worked. I don't know why it doesn't. Let's just reset this up. Okay. And again. All right, what is going on? Let's do this. Let's save. That has got to be a bug. I cannot believe that that is working as intended. Oh God, yes. That is true. But anytime that you have a long-standing group like that, they are going to be very cultish and they are going to be very toxic because they create a very insular sort of organization. Oh, now we actually have music playing, which we didn't before. I give up. It refuses to work. I don't get it. Why won't you do what you're supposed to do? Yeah. Every time. It shows that it's supposed to be working. It should be working. I attach it over there. Symmetry says that it should show up over there. And it shows it. When I have symmetry turned on and when I go to paste that part, it shows up over there, but it refuses to paste that part. So what's going on? What is broken? Is there a setting that I need to change? Is there an adjustment that I need to make somewhere? What's the problem? All right, let's count this out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7. So here we go. Turn on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Nope. They're identical. They are identical in length. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why it's not working. Because everything says that it should be. All of this is set up identical. turn on the symmetry. It shows up on the other side when I have symmetry on, but it doesn't paste it to the other side. Now, I wonder if that's because... we're going to try something real quick. I have an idea. I know, right? Let's take out this stuff. No reactors. No gyros. Because I wonder if it's because of those that it messes with the mirrored orientation. And so it won't actually paste it correctly because of that. Because it can't flip those objects. Okay, come on. Line up correctly. Nope. What? Oh. It's not mirroring it correctly is why. You are correct. I don't know how many back I went. What, 2, 3? 2, 3. Okay. So it's not actually mirroring the parts correctly. It's duplicating it, but it's not mirroring it the way that it's supposed to. Which, that's kind of frustrating. So essentially what I would have to do is create the pylon to be identical on both sides. Or not the pylon, but the nacelle. So it has to be mirrored itself so that it fits correctly on it. Can I bug report from here? I cannot. Okay. But yeah, that shouldn't, yeah, you're right. It shouldn't be the way that it is. It should be mirroring it correctly. Because I took out all of the parts that couldn't be mirrored, only from the home side. Okay. Now, most likely it is a bug that has already been reported multiple times, but... So... this is going to be painful. Essentially what I need to do is take this we bring you up like that. And basically I want to run it. Oh, shit. Oh, this is going to suck. Because in essence, what I have to do is cut off. True, to a certain extent. Because essentially what I have to do is cut off both sides all the way down. And then I will essentially have to rebuild both sides. So what I should do is we'll start from here. And just cut all of that off. Actually, this kind of works out because what this allows me to do is clean this up. A little bit. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to melt off this as well. And we'll just take that whole side off. And you know what? Yeah, that's, well, I mean, it still sucks, but it's something I can work around. All right, let's ditch all of this. Ditch all of that. Excuse you. There we go. And then all of that. Okay. That there. Is that how it's going to be? Yeah, basically. Run this all the way down here. Whoops. And clean all that out. Okay, that gives us kind of what we're looking for. Clean this up. Okay. Same with the rear. Let's see. Kind of tempted to take... I actually kind of tempted to just take this back portion off, steal the front, and then go from there. And then... Whoops. That's fine. I'm deleting all that anyway, so it doesn't matter. Clear all that out. There we go. Yes, get rid of it. Let's... come in here. And clean all this up. Now I want to clean all this up, and I really should be cleaning all this up anyway, so that I can start looking at the possibility of later adding in the conveying that I'm going to need. Because eventually that's actually going to be important. Now this is more along the lines of a test build. Just making sure that I can actually build a ship. Although currently we're finding out that it's not working out as well as it could be. So it's one of those that definitely a lot of lessons learned so far. There we go. That gives us a sort of better chamber that I'm looking for. Awesome. Okay. And then this I can take out. Doesn't mean I should take it out, but I can. Same with up here. Awesome. Okay. And then, whoops. And this is, in general, just a good lesson in more modular design. Because what this is going to help with is later on down the road being able to build modules for, let's see, but essentially being able to build the modules that are much easier to then cut and paste. Yes, absolutely, that too. All right, so partial copy, start here. And we want to go across. Come down. Get a little extra out of that. Bring this all the way down. There we go. Now I should be able to drop that right there. And we should now be equal on both sides. Except for this. Which we will fix here in a second. Okay, that's identical-ish. That, and then half long slope. let's just take out that. And this. And that. And we'll do the same over here. There. Now we should be identical on both sides. Yeah. With the exception of course, not having the thrusters over on this side, but that's because this is going to get attached to the wing, so that's okay. What I want to do, though, is just mirror both sides anyway. So let's get this evened up. Make it identical there. And then nope. Did that also get the other side as well? It did. Okay, cool. Because I want... There we go. That goes there. That one. And that one. Okay. So... something is off. Not sure how. But something is very definitely incorrect. I may actually have to completely rebuild this. Oh. No, that's the correct width. No. Whoops. Nope, that is... Nope, that's my fault. I had that off by a block. That's why it wasn't working. There we go. Okay. This should now work correctly. Yeah, there we go. Oh, Cruz, you moron. It's okay, though. You live and you learn. And as long as you're not blowing yourself up, you should be mostly okay. And then we do that side. And wait. Yeah. Then we do nope, that doesn't fit. There we go. Okay. I need... excuse you, yes. There we go. Yes, okay. So the next thing that I need to do is make sure symmetry is off. I want to add those. The whole thing should now be equal. And should be identical on both sides. Okay. Let's copy that. Wow, you were not having fun with that. Okay. Let's actually get this to be more over here so that I can see how I'm attached. Oh, I know what I need to do. Nope, I'm doing this wrong. I'll just do that. We copy that. We bring it over here. I don't need to sit there and try and attach it correctly. I don't have to mirror it or anything. I just have to attach it there. We attach it here. And because it's identical on either side, boom, there we go. Problem solved. We now have it mirrored over. We've got our two sets of thrusters. I should actually be able to fly it now. I just need some gyroscopes. Some of these puppies here. And then we will add a couple of reactors for giggles. There she goes. It works. Okay, that was a huge pain in the ass just to get to this. Oh, man. Yeah, there we go. I will say, though, that this is starting to give me more ideas on how to do modular design and how I should be building things versus the way I do build things. So I'm actually kind of happy that this is working out the way that it is. Definitely some bugs that need to get fixed. Of course, they'll probably get around to that later on. There's no sense in fixing a tiny little bug like mirroring until like they actually need to. But that being said, I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap this up for today. This has actually been really enjoyable working on this, and I'm really excited, really excited for the future of Space Engineers. I cannot wait for the Vertical Slice 2.0 to come out. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I can feel it in my bones that I'm going to be addicted to it for a while. Other than that, though, we are going to wrap this up for today. As always, thank you all for joining me on these misadventures. So glad to have you guys along for the ride. You all have a wonderful day. Stay out of trouble. And remember, if you get caught, I don't know you. I will catch you guys tomorrow.